Hey guys, this is Savannah from earthandwater.co,
And this is April. Hi, guys.
and today we're going to talk to you about Imbolc, which is coming up on, I believe, February 2nd.
February 1st or 2nd.
Yeah, they change depending on the rotation of the Earth and crap.
And crap.
Yeah, very scientific.
And that's halfway between the winter solstice and the spring equinox.
So if you're not familiar, the winter solstice is when the days are at their shortest and they peak out at their shortest on that day, and then from there on the days start to get longer. And then the Imbolc is the midway point between that and the spring equinox. So right now we're celebrating the return of the light and the heat and the warmth, and winter is beginning to dissipate from here. So we're at our peak at this point, and now it's all downhill to spring.
Yeah, and then the spring equinox, the days and nights are equal.
Yeah.
So, Imbolc is a Gaelic festival. It's celebrated as the beginning of spring and a day sacred to Bridget, the goddess of fire and healing. Traditionally, the Irish, when they celebrated this, they would drive their cattle between two sacred bonfires. That's in order to protect them from parasites in the next coming year.
Yeah, it was like a cleansing thing.
Yep. And then the festival became Christianized.
As they do.
Yep. And you might have heard of it called Candlemas.
So Candlemas is also
Imbolc. Yep.
They just renamed things.
Yeah, they just renamed it, but they kept candles and fire and healing.
And so it's a fire festival, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Lots of these are fire festivals because fire is such an important element to life and the survival of life.
And okay, so on this day, candles to be used in the next year would be consecrated, and then the candles would be used to bless the churchgoers to protect them from ailments of the throat. So that's another cleansing thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the Christians kept that.
And the consecration.
Yeah, that's right.
Consecration of candles. That's just putting intentions into a specific candle, yes. And then when you light it, it puts the intention out into the universe.
Yes.
In case nobody.
All right, I did not know this. I just found this out, but the solstice and equinoxes and their cross quarter days in both Beltane, Lammas, Samhain, or as Americans call them, Groundhog Day, May Day, August 1st, and Halloween, are the midpoints of the season rather than their beginning. The Celtic and Germanic peoples believed that the cross quarter days could be used as inverse weather predictors for the next 6 weeks, which is what we do with Groundhog's Day to this now. Right. Imbolc is Old Irish for in the belly.
In the belly of what?
I guess in your belly.
My belly?
Uh-huh. I guess it's associated with pregnancy instead of eating.
Oh, not my belly.
Mine neither. And that goes back to Bridget. She's a fertility goddess.
Okay. A lot of them are fertility. Like fertility is a big thing when you start studying all of this.
Well, I think they lost a lot of children.
They did. Yeah, that's what name day is they didn't even name children, and the chances of losing them were so high. They tried not to get attached.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely until recent time, like I have all of my grandparents lost siblings and stuff. Like it was very common.
I don't know if mine did. I'm assuming so. There were 13 of them that lived.
Right. Yeah, all of mine had about the same amount too. I remember this one story that my dad or my uncle or somebody was telling me about how one of the kids got bit by a snake, and they just, went to work that day in the fields, and then when they got done working in the fields, the dad or the uncle or whoever was like, "All right, kids, let's go back to the house and see if such and such survived the snake
Oh,
bite."
golly.
And it really was like when he was telling the story, he was like, "Could you imagine living in that?" But that's just how it was. Like people died all the time to basic healthcare. I mean, even now, my aunt got bit by a snake last year, and she was in the hospital for weeks. And that's with today's technology.
Oh, golly, that is very
Yeah,
stressful.
yeah.
When Christianity came to Ireland, Bridget became Saint Bridget, which I did not know. That's very exciting to me that they turned this goddess into a saint. And in around 450 AD in Kildare, Ireland, they started tending to a perpetual flame. This flame was tended for centuries by pagan priestesses, and then later Brigittine nuns. It still burns to this day in the town of Kildare.
So it's been burning for this. It's a candle,
yes,
flame or candle.
I'm assuming it's a candle.
Okay, and it's been burning for how long?
It says centuries, so 450 AD, 2,000 years, 1,500 years.
Wow.
If I can math. Probably can't.
Yeah, I can't either. It's fine. You did better than I did. I was fixing to be like, y'all can math that if you want. I don't want. But that's insane, and it just really goes to show you the power that the ancients put on fire. That it was so important that they kept this fire, this flame going for that long. That is crazy.
And I know that this feels like I'm jumping all over the place, but I keep reading new things. I've made notes, but I keep getting new things to bring up. And I don't know if we mentioned this the last podcast we recorded together, but a Sabbath, Imbolc is a Sabbath, and a Sabbath is any of 8 neo-pagan religious festivals commemorating phases of the changing seasons.
It was Yule. That was the last one.
Yeah. Right? And it comes from the Latin sabbatum. Sabbatum. That might not be how you say that in Latin.
So a Sabbath is just any religious or it's any holiday that you tie special meaning to, essentially.
To the changing of the seasons.
To the changing of the seasons.
Yeah, specifically. Okay. If you want me to listen, I can.
Go for it.
Yule, Imbolc, the spring equinox, Beltane, midsummer.
The wheel of the year stuff.
Mm-hmm. Lammas and the autumn equinox. I feel like those have special names, but
we can't pronounce them. We're too white.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's more or less what Imbolc is. Now we're going to cover the aspects that are associated with Imbolc so that you can decide how you would like to celebrate it yourself. Because celebrating these things are just about getting in tune with yourself and nature and the world around you and whatever it's doing at the time. So in that, do know that our aspects may be a little bit different than your aspects depending on where you live. The best way to come up with aspects to celebrate these holidays is to go outside. I know it's kind of hard to do when it's 10 degrees, but just pay attention to the world around you and the energy and what it's saying and what you notice, and formulate your own connections, because that's where the magic lies.
Yeah, I believe that's really important. We're so disconnected from the outside world as a people.
Absolutely. It's so convenient just to stay in the warm house 24/7. When our ancestors didn't have that luxury because they had to go outside on a daily basis to live and survive and whatnot. These days, we come into contact with the outside environment as little as we want.
I realized the other day I had the stomach bug for about a week, and I stepped outside and realized that I hadn't even been out there in a week. Mm-hmm. I hadn't even seen the sun in a week. Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous. I probably would have got better faster if I had gone outside.
For sure, for sure. Getting that sun on your face is so important. Feast. There's a feast associated with every holiday's not the word. Sabbath?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sabbath, will of the year, whatever we're doing here. The celebration. Feast equals celebration, always. The foods associated with that are going to be whatever is naturally in season where you live, which isn't probably a whole lot if you're in the middle of winter like we are. Of course, it's different in the southern hemisphere. I don't know anything about the southern hemisphere, and I am very sorry that I cannot speak on those terms.
It would be in fall.
Yeah, it's opposite. I know that. But sorry, not sorry, because learning how to celebrate all of this stuff is really about getting to know yourself and your own environment. So, like, I can tell you stuff all day long. It's going to apply more to me than it is. Now, I do really like that Imbolc is associated with wine.
Very important.
As it was actually, alcohol was super, super, super important because the water wasn't safe to drink, so pretty much everybody was drunk all the time. Have you heard the theory about how it's a theory that I just heard like a day or two ago, that everybody in olden times, especially from Europe, the colonizers especially, is where they were talking about this theory, all had fetal alcohol syndrome, which because the water wasn't safe to drink, so everybody was drunk all the time, and because that's what they drank was wine and beer and malt and all of those things. And a symptom of fetal alcohol syndrome is lack of apathy or empathy, or not lack of empathy. So complete apathy.
All right, and this is not a sympathy for the devil situation.
What?
White colonizers, we're not sympathizing with them.
Oh, no, it was just lending a reason to why they may have been as big of dicks as they were.
That's very interesting. I heard the same thing about quote unquote Karens.
The Karens?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That they have fetal alcohol syndrome?
Yes, that they have, and poisoning. Lead poisoning. They all have lead poisoning, which
because the paints and the toys.
Comes across as anger and irrationalization.
Yeah, and see the guy that was telling me about this theory, I'm pretty sure it was on TikTok like 2 days ago. But anyway, he read a section from Columbus's diary about his first interaction with Native Americans, and he went on about how wonderful they were, how sweet, how caring, how community oriented, how they were willing to give everything they had and share, and they were just wonderful people. Okay. He went on about 2 paragraphs about this and how awesome they were, and then the very next paragraph was like, they would be very easy to enslave.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, Columbus was a dick.
Yeah. So, but he led with that, and then he was like, now here's the theory. Fetal alcohol syndrome.
Okay, I'm down. I'm on board. Another thing that we didn't mention last time about Yule and alcoholism, nope. Wrong word. Alcohol in general. It keeps you warm.
We're millennials, so we're definitely not anti-alcoholism.
No. Wrong word though. It keeps you warm. Or it makes you think you're warm.
It makes you think you're warm. It actually thins the blood and makes you colder, so it's very not good to. I mean, I don't know. It depends on if the heat is out and you're freezing to death and you have alcohol, it's probably going to make you more comfortable, but it's also going to probably kill you faster.
You won't care at that point.
You won't care.
Also, you're more social when you're drunk, and you need those interactions.
Yes.
Because what if something happens to your food source? You need the friendliness of your neighbors to help you. And if you are over there being a dick because you're not drunk and happy, they're not going to feed you.
That's true. It's a bonding experience because we're social creatures and we need that. So the ancients our ancestors were all the time getting drunk and partying with each other. And can we bring that back?
Yes.
I want to bring that back.
Yes, I haven't had a drink all year.
It's January.
It is. It's the end of January. I'm just saying.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Good job. I can't. I have not met that same goal, but
Well, I just got a new job, so.
So anyway, huge tangent, but it was a fun tangent. So anyway, wine for Imbolc and feasts. But of course, you know, if you prefer rum or whatever, that's fine too. Okay, so some of the rituals that are associated with Imbolc that you could use to celebrate, practice, whatever it is your intentions are for learning about all of this. But you can light candles or a fire in the fireplace. You can have a bonfire because, like we said earlier, fire is a big aspect of these celebrations because fire is life. Without the sun, we would all freeze to death and die. So, you know, you can also write down your intentions for the coming year, burn it in the fire to release the energy and the intentions out into the universe. You can write down all that you want to release and leave in the past and burn it. Also signifies symbolism and all of that energy. And take a cleansing milk bath.
That sounds fantastic.
Sure. I don't know. I have a thing about being submerged in any sort of liquid that I can't see the bottom of. Like, generally it's water, but in this case, I don't think I could take a milk bath.
Well, it wouldn't be all milk. It would look like breast milk. It would be like water and milk.
Cloudy.
Yeah.
Okay. So you like fill up a bath. Apparently, I don't know how to take a milk bath.
You wouldn't want to put that much milk in the bath.
That is true. That's a lot of milk.
Yeah. So it would be like a cup of milk in your bath.
That's common sense. Okay. I didn't have that. I didn't know that.
You wouldn't want to waste it.
I guess I've just never thought about it. That makes sense. Okay. So anyway, cleaning and cleansing your home. I have realized lately that we think of, you know, spring cleaning. Spring cleaning is something we're all pretty well familiar with, but it really, I've noticed since studying all of the Sabbats and the Wheel of the Year celebrations, cleaning and cleansing of the home is something that's celebrated and done and practiced at every holiday, which makes sense to me on a lot of levels, energy-wise.
I agree. I am a chronically messy person, and it makes you feel good. Spring clean all year round.
Yeah, but especially in fall and spring though, I have noticed that, and I looked it up because I had a theory on it. I was like, you know, because when I was cleaning this past fall, I was finding lots of spider eggs, and I was like, you know what? Are we supposed to clean in the fall and the spring because that's when we can catch these predators and like get them away from where we live and whatnot. So I looked it up, and it seems that it's actually accurate. The spiders lay eggs year round, but the most dangerous spiders lay their eggs in spring and fall. So if you clean in the spring and fall, you'll catch the more dangerous spider eggs and you can dispose of them.
Look, it's also practical. Everything leads back to practicality.
Yes, and you know, before we had recorded history, you know, my grandfather couldn't read or write. So my grandfather, we're in 2022. My grandfather that just passed away in the fall could not read or write. So how do you relay important information on how to live from person to person when you can't rely on people reading books? And that's through these celebrations and the rituals and the practices and the coming together to do all the things, you know, and because we're storytelling brains. So that's where, you know, magic.
We need to bring back storytelling. We have a storytelling festival here in Athens where we live, and I have never been to it.
Athens, Alabama, not Athens, Greece. It's a common confusion if you don't live here.
Yes. Our town was modeled after Athens, Greece. A lot of our historical buildings look very Grecian.
Yeah, and we have a Greece festival, an Athens Greece festival, where you can like wear togas and stuff for free entry. Of course, it's all like fried foods, Greece. Like literally, that's actually
Yes.
what it is. So we're in the South. That's all I have to say about that.
Another traditional thing that you can do with your children or gather around with your friends is to make a brie jog, which is a straw doll. Straw, I pretty much grows everywhere, I believe, of some type. And or you can make a Bridget cross, which we got together a few years ago and made those. You soak straw overnight and weave it around a frame made of sticks. They traditionally have 3 or 4 arms, but you can get completely crazy. Traditionally, they were hung over children's beds, and it's believed that a cross tucked under the mattress will help aid conception.
Whoa, so don't do that. Hurt.
It all goes back to fertility.
Everything goes back to fertility. Good for them.
Oh, and Imbolc is a time for visiting holy water, traditionally a spring or a well, which if you live somewhere where there is natural water, you could do that to purify yourself, which use that however you will. I'm not saying you need purification.
No, I was sitting here like, are we getting naked in the woods and like
yes,
bathing
always
in January when it's 10 degrees outside? That's probably not, but maybe like if we collect some of the natural spring water and take it back to the house, we can mix it in our milk bath.
Yes, and which milk bath, which I actually will never be taking. That sounds.
Yeah, I probably won't either. Actually.
No. You can dip a piece of ribbon in the water and hang it from a nearby tree to carry messages of hope and healing.
Beautiful.
That is beautiful. And just acts of gratitude help out in your community.
Yes, I have that right here in the accompanying blog post that goes with this podcast episode. It says, help your friends, neighbors, elderly, and needy. Okay. I've been wanting to I bake bread sometimes, and the holidays really, really strung me out to where I'm just now feeling kind of recovered from it. So I can't do anything around, our traditional holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, all of that, because I'm so busy with things. But now that everything's slowing down, I feel like Imbolc would be a great opportunity to bake some small loaves of bread and take them to all of my neighbors.
That's so cute.
And see, just touch base with them. Hi, how are you? If you haven't introduced yourself to them, that's a great way. If it clicks, it clicks. If it don't, here's your bread. See you later, But yeah, see if anybody around you could use your help. That's so beneficial, not only to the people that you're helping and the neighbors, but to yourself and the connections that you make in your community.
I think that's a great thing, especially here in the northern hemisphere where the sun is returning. People deal with seasonal depression, lack of sunlight,
which we should do a whole episode on that.
We really should. I suffer greatly from seasonal depression. I mean, I have year-round depression, but especially.
So do I. But see, I have a whole theory. I have a new theory on it that
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, we saved it. We're saving it.
We would all love to hear it. Maybe if we get done with this episode quick enough and we have time, we'll go ahead and record that.
Okay. So check in with your neighbors. I think that's really important. You might not. I live really far away from all of my neighbors. I don't even know their names, guys.
Because we live in the South, and once again, a lot of people, I've come to realize in the past, I don't know, internet era, that a lot of people don't have yards or anything like space-wise from their neighbors. And meanwhile, over here in America, we're like, I got an acre is pretty average. How many acres do y'all have?
40.
Yeah. See, we got space over here.
Hashtag not rich.
No.
This is family land that will never go to me, probably.
Well, either way, the point was it's very spacious out here. So we're very disconnected from our neighbors. We don't pass each other in the hallway. every day going to and from.
No, well, okay, so now you hear all this bad, going off on a little bit of a tangent, you hear all of this bad stuff and you don't want to answer the door. If somebody comes to my door with bread, I might be more willing to answer. If I peek out that window and there's someone holding some food, I'm gonna open the door.
Yeah, I'm very non-threatening looking though. Like I usually have a child with me, and
I'm more so threatening looking.
That is true. You're a little bit more threatening looking. Don't open your door if April shows up at it.
Oh, I won't have food, probably. I'll probably ask you for a cup of sugar or something. I'm coming to ask for things.
So anyway, you can contact your local shelter or nonprofit and see if they need supplies or volunteers. You can pick up litter in your neighborhood. There's all sorts of things that you can do. That giving back thing is super important for just daily life all the time.
Well, and now that we're so connected digitally, we're not so connected, personally in real life, but digitally you can use that to get people together. You can create a day where everybody in the community gets together and does something together.
Yeah.
That will create those connections.
Absolutely. Use your, be creative and brave. Reach out to people.
Brave. Open the door.
It's very important. Making hair crowns out of nature objects is one of my favorite things that pops up for every Sabbath. Go outside and find some materials to make a crown with.
We're at the grocery store. Who cares? It's 2022.
I mean, yeah, whatever. Just, we all need nature. It also says we can make, obviously, an altar, which we still have to cover in a podcast episode because people need to understand what that means. And it'd be a whole tangent. So anyway, those are paper snowflakes. You can do a lot of things, but I have a lot of suggestions written down, so I took notes so you don't have to, on the accompanying blog post that's going to be linked around here somewhere. That's all I have for Imbolc today.
I don't guess I have anything else to add. I've interjected with all of my random points.
Cool. Well, so that's it. Check all that out. Let us know if you have any questions, and enjoy. Namaste. We'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.